Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome once more to my YouTube channel. It sounds crazy, but it is true. The LGBTQ people are not allowed in Kenya and in Uganda. It's really great to see that there are still some people out there that can say no to certain things. But before we move forward, I want to let you know that I am not for, neither am I against any of these groups of people or community. However they feel they could represent themselves, that is totally fine. As it's in Dutch, that is me egal. The Ugandan president and the Kenyan president have said no to the LGBTQ people. On a personal point of view, there are a lot of things that have been imposed on African leaders or the African community. The Africans literally don't have a say in anything. I was having this conversation the other day with one of my friends, and we're talking about before the Europeans or the colonizers came to Africa, we did not have malaria, AIDS, cholera, all of these other diseases. Just came after they came, or does it mean that these diseases were already there and they just came and discovered these diseases? Because we Africans have been living, for example, the Ebola virus, Africans have been living with animals, Africans have been living with animals for like forever, and we've never had an issue where, you know, we hear about monkeys or a particular set of animals giving illnesses, because our forefathers have always, you know, lived in these certain conditions. Now let's go back to the LGBTQ people. A lot of African countries, for example, for me, where I come from, Cameroon, there's a certain place where you go to, you will find those people, the LGBTQ, the gay people. Like I said again, I'm not against them, I'm not against their union, I'm not against whatever they are doing. My only issue is with the ones that have to put it in our faces. Like, you know, I mean, they're allowed to ask to talk to whosoever they want to talk to, but now you as a straight person, how will you take this? I mean, how do we welcome this? We always see it weird, because we know y'all know that some of us are not like that, but you still try, because I mean, everybody's trying to get some people in their community, or other people are trying to get people into their union or their community and whatsoever. So the president of Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni, and president of Kenya, President William Ruto, have said no to the LGBTQ people. It is great. At least they have some people that can stand for something. Even if it is right or wrong, at least they can say no to certain things that have been imposed to them. So let's talk about hip-hop a little bit. Let's talk about 50 Cent. I mean, one of the artists that I feel like is most disrespected in the industry is 50 Cent. I really don't want to say disrespected some sort of, because 50 Cent, just think about it. 50 Cent was from the East Coast, or he's on the East Coast, but he sold how many records? Look at how big he became in New York, how big he became in the West Coast, how big he became everywhere in the United States. But from the East Coast, he was making a name with all the competition, Jay-Z's, all of these people at this time. But 50 Cent from the East Coast was selling millions of records. So, and every time I see a list of top 10 rappers of all time, I never see 50 in it. If I see a list of top 50, okay, 50 can find himself somewhere, which I feel like is one of the most biggest disrespect in hip-hop. After everything 50 Cent has accomplished, I don't think there are 5 people in the music business who have accomplished more than 50 Cent. I don't think you can call 5 people in the industry that are successful that 50 Cent does not fall among this group. Think about it. Let's just do a random call. Jay-Z, Nas, who else? If you don't want to call 50 Cent, you can call, okay, Dr. Dre. Yeah, this is for the male. If you want to put the females in it, okay, fine. You will put them. But let's talk about the male. I live in Europe. I know how much there are few people in Europe that can tell you they don't know 50 Cent, but there are a lot of people who will tell you they don't know Jay-Z. Jay-Z is, but you are considered Jay-Z the greatest of all time. Is that only in the United States? Even if you go back to Africa, they could tell you a little bit about in the club. I don't know lyrics. I'm a big fan of all of these artists, but every time I want to see a classification, I want to make sure that everybody is in this list. I don't want any list that is being made talking about success in the entertainment industry and 50 Cent is not being mentioned in it. It doesn't sound right to me, some sort of. I mean, I'm not just talking from a standpoint of being a fan of 50 Cent, I'm talking from a standpoint of being a fan of music and hip-hop in general, you know? Because down there in Africa, we know more of 50 Cent. Down here in Europe, we know more of 50 Cent. Everywhere I've traveled to, everyone the Arabs, they tell you more about 50 Cent. So how on earth do you call the Nas, big respect to him, the Jay-Z, big respect to him as well, without calling 50 Cent? I just wonder, every time you mention these names, I want 50 to be among these groups, because how many of these rappers you call your top 10 rappers who have hits greater than 50 Cent? Single hits, not collaborations. Let's not even talk about collaborations. Talk about the people who wrote, talk about the hits they even wrote. 50 Cent has written more hits for people than Nas or Jay-Z have written for other people. I don't know if you get the whole point. So I just wanted to give some respect to Big 50, you know. Then the artists have been going so spiritual recently, and I think it's a great thing for the entertainment industry, because I feel like when an artist is about to transition he actually transition to another level in business or personality and everything, you know, they start by being spiritual. A list of artists that have gone through this transition that I've noticed for a while, I think NLE Chopper has transitioned a lot, though he's still doing music. That is, I feel like he has understood the whole purpose of the music industry, and now he's capitalizing off of maybe a lot of people's ignorance, a lot of people's anxiety, or a lot of people urge to find out certain things now to make money for himself and his family, which is great. But the spiritual side of him, when I hear him talk, I feel like he sounds like he's learning, or somebody is teaching him something. And yeah, though at times he speaks some certain things that don't make some sense, but you understand that he's about to transition, and it's very good because he's very young. I mean, he's very young to have gotten this information, and then trust me, no one can compare with you when you are about 30 years old. I mean, Lil Wayne now keeps to himself a lot. He speaks some certain things that when you get spiritual, you realize there is no need lying. When you get spiritual, you realize there is no need being what you are not, you know, you don't want to be. And as well as Styles P was talking about the God being the second grade. If you don't know about the God has to do with how well you feed. There are certain classes of food, or there are certain things that we do previous night before we go to bed and wake up the next day and we have a very bad day. We don't understand why the day is so bad. We get up feeling tired, or for just for example, if you eat a lot before sleeping, you wake up the next morning very hungry. But if you sleep hungry, you wake up the next morning, you're not hungry. I don't know how true that is. People believe that if you have a lot of fat in you, then you have to deal with depression. I don't know how true that is, but I believe that most of the people that do fitness have less anxiety and less depression and less PTSD, some sort of, because I think that is where people get this theory from the fact that fat people or obese people are more likely to get depressed than people that are more muscular, you know, some sort of. But I just think everything is here in the mindset. That is why food, at times you can stay 3 days, you can have an issue going on, you stay 3 days and you're not hungry and you're totally fine. But there are certain times you stay 1 hour without having something in your mouth, you're like burning and dying. So it's really great that Styles P is talking about spirituality, cleaning of the gut. I think you should read more of that. I don't want to talk more because I don't want to take the video too long. I just want to highlight that fact that artists are actually going spiritual, which is a great thing for the entertainment industry. One other person that I feel like is really respected, or I mean, in the entertainment world and the boxing world and everything, even in the hip hop world, is Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has actually been so spiritual. And ever since Mike Tyson went spiritual, he's been different. He's become a better person. He's become a better version of him. He has become the Mike Tyson of a family man and everything. Not the Mike Tyson we always knew, with all the allegations and all the to and fro's from prison and everything. Ever since he went spiritual, things have been different. That's why I respect John Jones a lot, because when that guy talks, I feel like that guy is different. When John Jones talks, he talks. He sees things that people don't see. The fight against Gano is gonna be so difficult to predict who could win the fight, because man, trust me. And ever since Mike actually went spiritual, he has become so great. He has become the father that he is. He has become the businessman that he is. He's doing big things. He has his business overseas in America. He's beating records and stuff in sales. I mean, during the COVID, he made some huge amount of money in the weed business and everything, which I think is a great thing. I think I think more artists should actually take on this spiritual path and work on it, as I feel like is the only way out for people. Triple X was a little bit too invested in the spiritual thing, as I feel like he probably got information that he was not supposed to get at a certain period of time. I mean, it's difficult. I feel like Triple X God would have allowed Triple X to go through his moment of fame, money and everything, then later on make him discover the truth, because it's difficult to deal with the truth and that money. I mean, that is the point where most artists fall, because the money comes, the truth comes at the same time. They be like, oh, so this is the truth and I got money, but where did the money come from? From the person that doesn't want you to know the truth. So do you want to use the money from them to fight the truth now? You're tripping. So I don't want to talk much again about it. Like I always say, you should use your head. Use your head. Use your head. Use your head. Always think before you act. So guys, thank you for getting to this point of the how do you call this? Yeah, but please subscribe, share, and like, comment, hit the notification bell. See you next time.